Social courage calls to us, but it can feel hard. What is it to offer and experience it with ease, where you don't need to persuade or force yourself, but where instead it arises from within, like laughter, like curiosity, like peace? From a place like this, we move easily into protecting others, into speaking truth, and sharing voices with warmth and lightness and surety. I'm offering you here a possibility that arises naturally out of radical compassion. For our purposes, I want to be clear first about what radical compassion is not. It is not pity nor sympathy. It is not being nice or kind, and it is not being friendly. It is owning all that you are in order to be with all that is with you. It is radically being with, taking in the wholeness of this other human in all its capacities, and greeting that humanity with all the expansiveness of what it has been to be human yourself. It is fierce with reality, and it is delicious. When you arrive at this place, even in conflict, it feels like humor and delight and affection, a holding of all of your collective flaws and geniuses and history together in cupped and generous hands, deeply together. It is experienced much as joy is. One way to arrive in this state of being is by dedicating yourself to the study of compassion, maybe apprenticing yourself to masters, taking years if that's what it takes to arrive at a true enlightenment. And this is a beautiful thing. But for practical and experimental purposes, there is also a shortcut. We have, through several centuries, ensconced ourselves in a conventional version of the self that is finite. We are each separate, a single unit of survival. And we see ourselves as many separatenesses. And holding to this definition of the self that sets us each as a unit of survival intimates competition, that perhaps we both will survive, but perhaps only one of us will. What if instead the self that we hold ourselves as is not the unit of survival, but rather is an environment? So picture a mountain lake ecology, home to trout and birds and nurturing reeds and flowers and trees and picas, and fed itself by mineral springs, by glacial melt, and by rain. We too are constantly fed and feed, and these lines blur. We are strong and supple and expansive and responsive. Or before, you might have conceived of yourself as a single plant competing for resources, and you can expand from there into the vision of yourself as the garden in which extraordinary things are supported to grow. And then recognize next that you are also the gardener, the tools, the weather, and the wildness that surrounds it. It has always been so. It is the unit of survival which was the myth. Rather, we are the extraordinary soil for the growth of all around us. We each then treat others as part of who we are, not as a them. Now, all this sounds poetic and spiritual, and yet contemporary system science shows us that we never were separate, but we all exist rather as open, self-organizing systems with currents of matter, energy, and information moving through each breath, thought, and act arising in interaction with a shared world. Some of us have felt what it is to be an environment in the most direct physical sense. We care for ourselves out of love for another, and vice versa. But this practice is not limited to mothers, but rather is the truth of each human through a selfless respect for reality. As parents of small children, we are for them much of what it is to be alive in this world in that moment. On street corners, we are what it is for ourselves and others to live in this town. As teachers, we own being the experience our students have being at this school, studying our subject and growing into themselves. This is compassion as a warrior, where we need courage first not to speak up, but to do the work that it takes to bring ourselves into wholeness. Where we are whole, as this happens, we give without effort. We do what we say we will. We stand by the vulnerable and we fix our mistakes where we can. And some things are then just not needed anymore. In the interweaving of an ecology, altruism, duty, virtue, and moralizing are not relevant. We feed the health of all that we are and all that we join, and are fed in return. Social justice, deep listening, fostering life, these are the natural acts of this warrior. A naturally ecological self that simultaneously nourishes and protects its constituent elements. You are some of my elements, and I am one of yours. We create life together. We are life together. We life together. There actually is no substitution for giving yourself over to compassion for a lifetime. It is the steady path from the swamp. The joys and connections that will arrive again and again will mask the quieter gift of a deep and personal peace. But by holding ourselves as ecology, we catch fire. So this metaphor of an ecological self becomes the agency of a shift towards an effortless warrior's compassion, which tastes like peace, but looks like clarity and courage. We're neither light nor darkness. We're neither night or day. We're neither kind nor heartless. We're neither lost or saved. We're neither still nor moved. We're neither held or free. Oh, to be so human. Oh, to be